The second Bloodgate. I should warn you, Hunter. You may find the trial ahead more difficult than I originally let on. The gods will push you harder, and you might very well fail.
And if I do?
You dust yourself off and you get back in there. Or you train, rethink your approach, and come back later, when you feel ready.
And what if I am hurt? Or worse still, what if something happened to Charlie?
Neither of you will be harmed, dear. That's not what this is about. The Elder Gods want to see what you're made of, but they're not out to get you. Well, except Chthon, but you already knew that.
Then I should make an attempt while I am here.
I'm sure you'll be fine. Just enjoy yourself. You're the only one getting an opportunity like this.
I will do my best.
Oh, and Hunter? I should mention, you'll only be able to make one attempt at the trials per night. Even the old gods grow weary of their children eventually. Good luck. When many of the Elder Gods were corrupted and became what we would call demons, the god Atum, born from Gaia herself, was set upon our world to slay these monsters. In that sense, the two of them have shared us. Not well, Hunter, and he may just honor you with his blessing.
You have earned this! As a child, I feared the servants of Lilith. Now I teach them to fear me. To get on my bad side.
Atum was unleashed and made quick work of the demons, but in the process, he became something of a monster. He even became known as the Demogorg, the God Eater.
If this is a cautionary tale, your timing could use some work. You were too weak for this fight. Your mother abandoned you.
Elder Gods are fully aware of Lilith's efforts. These beasts may look like her children, but they're only illusions meant to test your skills.
This is a serious predicament for you. Feel my call. Once again, Lilith's servants fall. Persistence is irritating.
I think Blade is honestly jealous that you're getting this extra training in. You have live targets, too.
They cannot possibly match your strength. I am impressed. Now that was something. Your time has come. Your loyalty to the Mother of Demons will be your undoing.
If that doesn't make an impression on Autumn, I don't know what will. Good work, Hunter.
Looks like it was.
With Atum's help, you shouldn't have any trouble uncovering the more elusive elements hidden throughout the grounds. Why don't you try out his blessing on that stone over there?
He sees our path. The son of Gaia approves. Something terrible happened here. This area, it feels wrong somehow. I sense an old suffering.
Members of the local coven were persecuted here. And worse.
Witches?
Salem's history with witches may have been distorted over the years, but some things are true. The witches of Salem did their best to thwart Shaw, but he rallied his congregation against them. The catalyst of the infamous Salem witch trials. When the Coven called out in distress, it was Lilith and Sarah who came to their aid.
Caretaker and my mother knew their powers could help others, and they did not hesitate.
Of course not, dear. Your mother was a gifted healer, and Sarah was never one to back down from a fight. They also knew the signs of Chthon's influence, and Shaw's sudden rise to power undoubtedly got their attention.
Chthon's corruption had taken root in the New World just like the colonists themselves.
And while Lilith and Sarah were still preoccupied in Transia, they entrusted one of the Moon Seals to the Knights of Wundagore, who brought it to the Coven with the hope that its power would reinforce them enough to deal with Shaw.
But that is not what happened.
Unfortunately, no. When the plague came to Salem, the same one that afflicted your father, Shaw used it to further agitate his flock by placing the blame squarely on the Coven.
And the witches?
The mob was vicious, and the rest is history.
But what about the Moon Seal?
After the trials, the Moon Seal vanished along with Shaw. Without drawing any conclusions, I think we can both guess where it went.
If this was his church, then it is possible the seal is still here, or somewhere nearby.
You read my mind. Good hunting, dear.
Was this always here? I may have forgotten a few things, but I feel as if I would remember a decrepit church on the grounds.
You may not remember the structure, but maybe you've heard of the man responsible for it? Hiram Shaw? This was his house of worship, and like a great many things on the grounds, Sarah preferred to keep it in a sort of mystic quarantine. Even I haven't been inside.
Is that all she did while I slept? Seal things off for our protection?
She can be overzealous at times, but in this case, she was right to be wary.
So, what dark secret does this place hold?
When Hiram Shaw first came to Salem, he was little more than a charlatan posing as a preacher. He managed to convince a few desperate souls to join his congregation, and with their help, he broke ground on this church. Whether it was coincidence or fate, in digging beneath the church, Shaw found something that would change the course of all of our lives. A long-forgotten page of the Darkhold.
Do you think Shaw was meant to find that page?
He may not have been the chosen one per se, but I'm sure this place radiated with enough dark energy to reach out to anyone listening.
And Shaw was just corrupt enough to hear its call.
Yes, Shaw was an eager study, consumed almost immediately by the whisperings of Chthon and the Darkhold's power. Nearly overnight, the people of Salem, old and new, were at his threshold, waiting for the word. Something on your mind?
Tell me about Hiram Shaw.
By all account, As I understand it, he was a largely unsuccessful minister before his arrival at Salem, traveling from place to place, swindling whatever followers he managed to gain before being run out of town. To think that a simple man like Shaw finding a piece of the Darkhold was enough to set all of this in motion, it puts things in perspective.
What do you know about my father?
That's not an easy question, dear. What would you like to know? Was he a good man? Yes, I think he was. Your mother loved him dearly, and he doted over her. I think for a time she forgot who she was, where she came from. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. She and Sarah both deserve to find something more than just another fight with Chthon. Lilith did. Sarah didn't. At least, not for a while longer still. I honestly think that's the only thing she ever had against him, blood or not. Until we speak again.
How long did the Salem witches hide here before meeting their end? This place looks so lonely. How long did the Salem witches hide here before meeting their end? This must be Shaw's study. She believes in our purpose. Not like anything I have seen on the grounds before.
And yet, it's familiar somehow.
Like the wards of protection that Wanda invoked to protect Dr. Strange's sanctum?
Very perceptive, dear. Maybe you should approach the good doctor and see if he has any insights. And Hunter, be circumspect. Dr. Strange is no fool.
What's up, Hunter?
Ah, Hunter, I was just admiring the collection. Someone spent a great deal of time piecing this library together. I hope you don't mind me, having a look around.
Of course not, Doctor. The library is an asset to us all.
I see I'm not the only one who's taken an interest in these works. You haven't been getting into anything precarious, I hope?
I've found something on the Abbey grounds that I think you should see.
Oh, sounds mysterious. By all means, lead the way.
Well met, Hunter.
Do you really think we will be able to halt the prophecy?
Halt? No, unfortunately not. Prophecies are stubborn things.
So you do not believe I can change mine?
Anything we do would be like dropping a rock in a stream. We might stop it or divert it for a bit, but the relief would only be temporary. This prophecy will come true, one way or another.
How do you do it?
Do what?
Balance both light and dark magic without becoming overwhelmed with one or the other.
Yes, I am rather well-rounded in my magical gifts, aren't I? I suppose I see magic as a tool. I use magic, but it doesn't use me. Just remember, you don't need to go pure dark or pure light unless you want to. There is room for everyone's own unique path.